Once you've got the crane in operation, we can start thinking about your own design ideas. How can we improve the crane? Perhaps we could make it into the arm of a robot. And of course, robots are used in all manner of industries for positioning things, holding things, joining things together. So our simple crane can be modified by using some other parts and any other bits and pieces that you think might be useful. So what we've got is we've got another couple of foam parts. I think straight away you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, that could be an extension arm to the jib, and maybe it could move. So that's one possibility. This cylinder's a useful little item because it makes you think about rotation like a wheel. So if we had something like a cocktail stick, now the points aren't, the points just can cause problems. So what I usually do is just carefully snap off the points, and then this is thin enough to just twist in. So this provides us with a means of rotating something and turning around, which is of course what your own hand does and what a robot arm might need to do. So that there. Straws, little bits cut from plastic straws, are useful, and dowels that we've used before. Remember, when you use a dowel, always sharpen a little bit off the end, a little bit, and it just makes it so much easier to fit them in. What else have we got? We've got some bits of card which are fabulous for making extra parts. Perhaps later you can try things like this. Look, there's 2 bits of card and a clothes peg, and now of course you've created an open and close sort of hand. So if we were to try and pick an object up, open, there we are, it picks it up. Maybe leave the clothes peg idea until another time, but there are all sorts of possibilities. A couple of other things, these are very useful, tiny little stick-on magnets. Now magnets attract other metal objects, iron objects and steel objects. Magnets don't stick, but these ones have a glue pad on the back. So we don't normally say magnets stick, we say they attract to iron and steel and some other metals. But because it's got glue on the back, it is a sticky magnet. Bit confusing for the scientists, but there we go. So our magnet, and of course a piece of string. So what sort of thing can we do? Well, straight away, look, we could remove the string, because that's the end where we need to make our modifications. Think about it first, maybe draw yourself some design ideas. So what about the idea about the rotation? So let's pop the cocktail stick in the end like that, then pop that in the end there, push the 2 together, and straight away we've made something rotate. Some of these things you might want to glue them later, but just for now, just leave them as they are. Just use bits of sticky tape. So let's try and make a very simple sort of grabber. So there we go. A little piece of card folded in half, and then what we could do is use our scissors. 2 pieces, stick 1 piece on one side, 1 piece on the other side, and then maybe look at how we could fold it so that it can actually grab things. Now it's not easy to do, but you can experiment with that yourself. Next, well, the arm could be extended, so let's take that off and look at how we might be able to attach this next arm. So the jib would move up and down. Maybe this arm could move in and out on the end of the jib. So let's have a look at creating a pivot for that then. So let's knot the end further in, drill a hole just like before. In goes the pivot into the end, so we need a new hole drilled. Turn it around. In it goes. Fantastic. So now let's see if it still moves. Yes, it does. It still moves. But how would we get that to move? How can we get that to rotate? That problem, we might be able to solve that if we had maybe another cocktail stick that could go through, and then that could be the winder. But where would the extra piece of string be attached? This time the string isn't moving the jib. The string would be moving the extension to the jib. This is a bit like your sort of your shoulder, your upper arm, and then your forearm, and then on the end you've got your wrist and your hand. So think about it like a sort of a human skeleton. Well, we could create a new hole here and use a straw, and that straw could be our winder. So in goes the hole. You can do it yourselves. When you're trying to fit a straw in the hole, it's not as easy as a dowel. So here's a good tip. Look, let's say we decided to put the hole there. So let's drill the hole all the way through. Remember to turn it round, drill it all the way through. When you try and fit the straw in, sometimes they do get a bit stuck. So here's a little trick, look. Pop the drill in, which is our pencil, pop the straw on the end, and then gradually twist and shuffle the pencil out. So there's our new winder. So the string could be attached to that, and then hopefully make the forearm move, or the extension arm move. What would you do with the magnet? Well, don't remove the back of the magnet. Don't remove the backing until you've made your mind up, because once these things stick to things, you've lost the stickiness. So try and only use them once. We could put our hook back on for a second and just illustrate something. So let's say the hook this time goes back on the extension arm. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a machine called a Hiab before, but they're used on the back of lorries for unloading equipment because they can reach with the jib, but they can finally sort of move about at the end with this sort of extension jib. And the magnetized part, well, in some scrap yards, magnets and hooks might be used together, or if we take off the hook and then put the magnet on the string without a hook, then the magnet could magnetize and attract to and pick up whatever else had a metal, an iron or steel paper clip attached to it. So by the force of attraction between them, we can look at, well, which objects could we pick up and how much weight perhaps we could pick up. So I don't want you to show anybody a finished model there, because I think it's important that you have your own ideas, and of course you'll come up with ones which might be better than mine. I'll be really pleased if that's the case. Oh, the jib arm, we could have, the extension arm could have that now popped back on the end. So now we've got the possibility of the main jib, the smaller extension to the jib, and then the rotation part on the end. Maybe the magnet could have something to do with that, or the paper clip. Well, let's see what your designs look like, and have fun and draw diagrams to try and show what your idea is before you start. That's what designers really do. Okay, fabulous as usual. Bye now.